Bawat araw ay may dalang mga posibilidad ng tagumpay o kabiguan, ng ligaya o lungkot. Kaya marapat lamang na tanggapin si Jesucristo bilang tagapagligtas at Panginoon. At matapos yun ay panariwain ang katapatan at paglapit sa Kanya bawat araw o day by day. Ang day by day ay naglalayong umalalay sa pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay Kristiyano.
Narito po si Pastor Ed Lapid sa mensaheng pinamagatang Very Personal Prayer.
Ang ating pong pag-aaral ngayon, Fight for Your Identity. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you have given us a godly identity. That when we come to your Father, you cloak us with your righteousness. You wash us with the blood of your Son, Jesus. You give us a new life, a new hope. And as we obey you, a new personality. Turuan niyo nga po kami, Lord, na kung paano pinakaturo-turuan niyo ang Israel to keep its national identity. People identified with you and identified for you. Nawa, yun din amin, ma-appreciate sa aming buhay. Yung identity, Lord, na binibigay mo po sa amin, maingatan. Teach us, Father, through the story in the Bible, through the many events, lead us and guide us. Be our speaker, please. Lord, whatever it is that may hinder your blessing, we surrender at the feet of Jesus, and we ask you, let your will be done. Sit on your throne of power. Lead your people. Teach us, Father. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Fight for your identity. Kung minsan marami pong mga kababaihan, ang kanilang sama ng loob, nung daw nag-asawa sila, nawala na sila ng identity. Yung hindi lang sa nagpalit sila ng apelyido, kung minsan, pating personality nila, nasuppress ng husband. Sometimes, ganun din naman yung reklamo ng husband. Sometimes, ganun ang reklamo ng mga bata tungkol sa kanilang mga magulang. Hindi sila binibigyan ng pagkakataon na ma-develop yung identity nila. Ginagawa lang silang carbon copy ng magulang. It happens. Identity is important, especially our spiritual identity. Let's read from Daniel. Ito pong napaka-importanting part of the story. The book of Daniel. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and we're reading from chapter 1, verses 1 to 20, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. These he carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring in some of the Israelites from the royal family and nobility, young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names. To Daniel, the name Belteshazzar. To Hananiah, Shadrach. To Mishael, Meshach. And to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel. But the official told Daniel, I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you. Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat. and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see." So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal foods. So the guard took away their choice food and wine, and they were to drink, and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning. And Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time set by the king to bring them in, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his whole kingdom. And may the Lord bless us through the reading of this wonderful episode. So fight for your identity. Let's take a look at the case of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. What was their identity? Sino ba sila? We know that they were from Judah, God's kingdom. Sinakop ng Babylon ang kanilang bayan at sila ay binihag. Pero ang alam natin, they were from Judah. They were of royal blood. They were young, handsome and healthy, intelligent, well-informed, in other words, qualified to serve the king of Babylon. Ang ginawa po ng hari ng Babylon, matapos niyang lupigin ang bayan na ito ng Diyos, kinuha niya yung mga kayamanan ng templo ng Diyos at dinala niya sa templo ng kanyang Diyos-Diyosan. At hindi lang yun, sapat pa. Nagutos siya na pumitas ng mga bata, mga magagandang itsura, matatalino, malulusog, ng mga anak ng royal family at ng nobility. Dinala sa Babylon at sila ay naging bihag doon. Ano ang gagawin sa kanila? We're talking about identity. Let's talk about their Babylonization. These young boys were going to be Babylonized. Napakatalino. Alam po ni Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, that probably the old monarchs, the royal kings and princes of the kingdoms that he conquered are too old to fight him. They probably have become too weary with battle, baka wala na silang political will, may mga sakit-sakit na, so hindi na makakalaban yan. At sa paghahanda niya ng continuity ng kanyang empire, ang gusto na niyang bihagin, hindi yung mga present set of rulers of the kingdoms that he conquered, but the next generation, instead of spiritual, as the poetic value of Israel, Judah, and Babylon. Yun yung ating framework. So nakita natin na anong ginawa sa kanila para sila mababylonized. Language and literature of Babylon was introduced to them. Siyempre, pag nakuha mo ang isang henerasyon, ang wika mo ang wika nila, ang literature mo ang literature nila, mabibihag mo ang kanilang utak. Ginawa ng asapin niya ginawa sa atin ng mga Kastila, ginawa sa atin ng mga Amerikano, at sa maiksing panahon ng Hapon na inabot ng marami sa inyo, sinikap din ng mga Hapon na magkatakana, hiragana, kanji ang mga Pilipino. Pero ang pinakamatagumpay sa kanila, mga Amerikano. No? Siyempre, nagbukas ng mga public school, salamat, tinuturuan daw tayo. Ano tinuro? Wika nila, literature nila. So nagbabasa ka ng Under the Apple Tree. No? I am Pepe, you are Pilar, I am Bantay, arf, arf. No? Diba? So, nabihag ang utak ng mga Pilipino, sinundan ng mga pelikula, mga libro, kaya hanggang ngayon, bihag tayong lahat. Ang pinakamatayog na pangarap ng Pinoy, mag-CNC. So, kahit na ano pa, talikwaran ng lahat, makapunta lang sa Amerika. Ginawa na yan, luma na yan, ginawa na yan ni King Nebuchadnezzar. Sabi, kuhanin yung high society, ipadala dito, at palitan natin ang pag-iisip. Kaya ang ginawa ng mga Amerikano sa Pilipinas, paglapag nila dito, nanguha ng mga anak ng yung mga pangalan ng mga pamilya sa Quiapo, no, yung mga yon sila, no, kinuha yung mga anak-anak nila, ipinadala sa Amerika mga pensyonados ang tawag. Siyempre, umalis ditong kumakain ng bibingka, pagbalik gusto na ng cake. So naiba sila. Gusto na nila maging federalista. Huwag nang labanan ng Amerika, maging na tayong isang estado nila. So, naiba. Matagumpay. Pero hindi po inimbento yan ng mga Amerikano. Hindi rin inimbento ng mga Kastila na ginawa namang wika natin ni Latin, dasal-dasal para sila naman ang kampihan. It's a way. Magsasalita ka ng sarili mong wika, may multa. No? So, kaya ngayon lahat ng mayaman, lahat ng sosyal, kailangan ng wika mo noon, Kastila. Ngayon, English naman. Pag nananagalog, you use it for the maids. Parang ganon. So, sinisira mo yung identity mo, you identify everything about you as down and out at what class, and everything foreign must be good and glorious. Nung pa man ginagawa. Hanggang ngayon, ginagawa ng iba. Pero, sobra na naman tayo para hindi pa natin mahalata ngayon yung style na yan. Na para bihagin ng isang bayan, bihagin mo ang kanyang isip. Ano pa? Para sila mababylonize, daily intake of food and wine. Sinakop sila, dinala sila sa kanilang tinirahan na marahil ay magandang mga tirahan at pinapakain sila from the king's table. Sa biglang tingin, wow, salamat, pinapakain tayo ng king, pagkain pa niya, the same food. Pero alam niyo ba na pag napalitan ng inyong food preference, mapapalitan ng kaluluwa niyo? Kaya mga Pilipino, kahit na halimbawa ang tagal-tagal na abroad, talagang pinipilit pa rin nila na magluto ng bagoong kahit inirereklamo ng kapitbahay, magluto ng daing, kasi talagang mahirap palitan yung food preference. Dala-dala mo yan. Sa Saudi Arabia, umiimbento ng dinuguan, sukdo lang dugo ng manok at laman ng baka, basta dinuguan pa rin ang ending. No? Talagang pipilitin mo yan, gagawa ka ng itlog na pula, ilulubog mo sa mga buhanging maalat, para maging itlog na pula. But then they were going to be fed with the food of the king. Ano magiging effect nun? Malilimutan nila ang sarili nilang pinagmulan, and they will be beholden to the king. Na baka any moment, isuspend yan, yung privilege, mamimiss mo na ngayon, controlled ka na. What else? They were trained. They were going to be trained for 3 years in the wisdom of the Babylonians, the way Moses was trained in the wisdom of the Egyptians. At pagkatapos, eto ng ultimate, pinalitan ng mga pangalan. Pinagpapalitan, naging Shadrach, Meshach, at Abednego. Kaya ngayong ating mga ipinadala mga scholars sa Amerika noon, mga pensionados, si Antonio bumalik as Sony. Diba? Si Matilde bumalik, call me May. Si Liwayway, call me Lee. Iba. Iba yung pangalan. Kaya nga tayo, litong-lito. Diba? Anong pangalan ng mga anak natin ngayon? Si Ian Christopherson, di mabakbak. Litong-lito yata ang ating mga pagkatao. So, pinalitan din ang pangalan nila. As you see, old gimmick na yan, di bago. Para malimutan mo kung sino ka. Pag nalimutan mo kung sino ka, madali kang alipinin. Madali kang kawawain, madali kang pasunod-sunurin. Yon ang way ng colonialism. Let's take a look at the resistance, because these 4 young men resisted this systematic Babylonization. Daniel, according to the Bible, resolved not to defile himself. Hindi, no, hindi ako papayag. So ano kanyang hiningi? Humingi siya ng understanding doon sa kanilang bantay. And the Lord touched the heart of the bantay to be favorable. At sabi niya, huwag niyo naman po kaming payagang madungisan sa pamamagitan ng pagkain na yan, na unclean, ayaw namin, kahit masarap, kahit yan ang tingtingala ng iba, kahit yan ang mahal, at pangarap ng marami, we don't want it because it's against our spiritual conviction. Pakanin niyo na lang kami ng gulay. Puro gulay na lang. Sabi, kung humina ang katawan ninyo, tapos mamaya ipapugot ng hari yung ulo ko dahil gusto palakasin kayo, pakanin kayo nito, iibahin ko. Bigyan mo lang kami ng 10 days muna, pakanin mo lang kami ng tubig lang at gulay, yun lang. At after 10 days, subukan mo kami kung mahina ba ang aming katawan. At kung mahina, sige, susundin ka na namin. Pero why don't you give us a chance? They were very diplomatic. Talagang matatalino, marunong silang makipagtawaran. So, yun ang ginawa sa kanila. They resisted that. At ano ang naging victory? Because of their resistance, there was, of course, victory. After 10 days, they were healthier and better nourished than all others. Na kumakain ng siguro mga taba, mga kung ano-anong mga fatty foods, mga food for the gods, no? Mga masasarap na yun pala ay hindi mabuti sa kanilang katawan. And when the king asked that they be tested, the king found them 10 times, not only physically but also intellectually better than everyone else. Dahil sabi sa verse 17, God gave them knowledge and understanding. Bakit sila binigyan ng knowledge and understanding? Because they began with their little knowledge and their little understanding, and they used that to stand up for their identity. To make a long story short, pinagtangkaan, subalit nabigo ang Babylon na kainin nila itong apat na lalaking ito at maging tagapaglingkod lamang ng kanilang Diyos-Diyosa, ng kanilang hari. Because all throughout their lives, these four men would always stand up for the God of Israel. Kahit dumating yung time na nagkaroon ng decree, pag tumugtog ang mga instrument, lahat yuyuko dito sa golden image na ito, sila ang nananatiling nakatayo. Sukdulang ihagis sila sa mga pugon na nag-aapoy, sukdulang ihagis itong si Daniel sa isang kulungan ng mga leyon na gutom, nanindigan sila because they fought for their identity. And because they were fighting for their identity, God was on their side. They were fighting on the side of God. Ang tagal na nun, may kinalaman pa ba tayo sa kanila? Yes. Kasi may kamukha sila ngayon dito. Let's take a look at today's Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Tingnan niyo kung sino ang inyong katabi. Tayong lahat. Tayo yan eh. Ang totoo, tayo ang pinag-uusapan dyan, hindi sila lang. Kasali tayo. What about our identity? What is our identity? First of all, our identity is Christian. We are Christians. Can you imagine that kind of name? The word Christ, dinagdagan lang ng I-A-N, naging Christian. Ako yun. Ikaw yun. Kayo po yun. Dala natin ang pangalan ni Kristo kahit saan tayo magpunta. Kristiyano. What behavior is required of people that carry the name of Christ? What kind of behavior will you impose on yourself and require and demand of yourself when you are conscious that you carry the name of Jesus? Identity, we are Christian. And the people of God are also royal, like these men who came from the noble families. 1 Peter 2:9, referring to believers. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people belonging to God, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. So we are royals. Mga kapatid, kahit kailan, do not behave cheaply. Do not behave like a slave. Because the people of God are royal. We come from the royal family of God Himself. So yung mga royal, sukdo lang, huwag na akong kumain, pero kung pagkain ko naman, ipagbibili ko sa yung aking karangalan, huwag na lang. Titiisin ko na lang yung mga appetite ko, pero hindi ako magpapaka-chip-chip sa harap mo para ko lang magawa yung gusto ko. The people of God have this identity. Alam niyo yung mga taong sobrang umiibig, itinatapon na yung utak nila pag umibig, susunod-sunod, bubuntot-buntot, wala nang respeto sa sarili. They forget that they are royals. Huwag kayong pumapayag kahit sinong tao to rule over you except the living God. So you don't forget your identity. Hindi yung gumagawa na tayo ng napakaraming bagay that we feel cheapened to do, but do anyway because we are slaves of our emotions. Because we are slaves of our desires, of our wants, sometimes even of our needs. Merong dignity dapat ang mga anak ng Diyos. So gustong-gusto ko ang perang ito, pero kailangan kong gumawa ng masama. Kailangan kong iprenda ang kaluluwa ko. Never mind. I'm royal. I have this dignity and I will not compromise it. Hindi ko na lang kukuhanin. So gustong-gusto ko na sumama sa iyo, pero kung sa pagsama ko sa iyo naman, mapapahawak ang kaluluwa ko, kailangan ko ibaba yung aking spiritual situation para lamang sumunod-sunod sa iyo. Huwag na. Because I do not forget who I am. Alam niyo yung mga tao kuminsan na naaapi lang, nagiging kawawa, nalilimutan nila na sila'y tao. Pumapayag silang itrato na parang less than human. That's why it's important to remember who we are. That's why it's important to have a clear consciousness of one's identity. Isa doon, kuminsan yung cultural identity, kuminsan iba doon, national identity. But what's so important is our spiritual identity. That we are the people of God. Napapayag-payag ka, natatakot-takot ka lang na hindi makisama sa mga tao, gagawa ka na rin ng masama. Because we forget who we are. That our identity requires a certain level of behavior, certain level of self-respect. And nobody can take away your dignity from you. Kaya ang tinuturo sa atin ay, do not covet. Huwag kang magnanasa ng hindi sa'yo. Because anything that you covet, anything that you desire, can be your master. Kaya dapat konti lang yung gustong-gusto mo. Kasi pag gustong-gusto natin isang bagay, tulad din ng pag gustong-gusto natin isang tao, willing na tayong magpabusabos. And the people of God, hindi bagay yun. Kaya kung meron sa inyo, inaapi-api kayo ng nobyo nyo, bubuntot-buntot kayo, hindi bagay sa akin ito. Diba? Sabi sa'yo ng nobyo mo, kung talagang mahal mo ako, sumama ka sa akin sa likod ng puno ng pakiling. Ano? Bakit ako lapunta sa puno? Ano ako, bulate? Diba? Kailangan ko ng dignity. I'm a child of God. Pagka lumalagay tayo sa lugar, tinatandaan natin kung sino tayo, mas lumilinaw ang mga bagay. But many people, of course, are constantly being bombarded by Satan to be deceived as to their identity. Na ganito lang ako, pangit lang ako, kung hindi pa ako papayag dito, wala nang ibang magtsaka sa akin. Yung ganito lang ako, ganun. Pinapababa ni Satan yung ating self-respect para tayo maging mumurahin. Para pumayag tayong ganyan na lang ng ganyan. Compared to the never-ending line of eternity. And of course, we like to be poetic about that. That one of the meanings of being young is, there is so much to learn. And in that case, we are very young. Kahit 70, 80, there's still so much to learn. What we know is little, what we do not know is immense. So we are young like them, and handsome and healthy. Sa tingin ng Diyos, ang lilinis ng mga ito, hinugasan ng dugo ni Kristo, magagandang tao, mahuhusay, good-looking. And of course, the children of the Lord are to be intelligent, well-informed. Hindi yung puro, I don't know ang sagot, I don't know. And qualified to serve the living God. But do you know that those who are qualified to serve the living God are also qualified to serve the God with the small letter G? That these young men from Judah were qualified to serve their king, but they were also qualified to serve the king of Babylon? Na yung galing ninyo, husay ninyo, ang inyong time, talent, treasure, lahat yan pwedeng pakinabangan ng Diyos at pwede ring pakinabangan ni Satan. Kung sino at kanino nyo isuko, yun ang makikinabang. So ang tanong, kung kilala natin ang ating identity, therefore alam natin kung sino nagbibigay sa atin ng ating talent, ng ating treasure, ng ating lahat ng mga assets, therefore alam din natin kung kanino dapat isinusuko at kanino ipinapagamit. Many people, because they don't have a clear sense of identity, mistakenly offer all of their assets and talent to the altar of Satan instead of to the altar of God. Kaya mahalaga yung identity. There was an attempt to Babylonize them. Sa atin meron ba? Meron bang Babylonization sa atin ngayon? Yes. In terms of language and literature, yes. And I don't only mean politica, like Latin, like Spanish, like English, like Japanese, no. But now, the more abstract language and literature of the world. Na merong attempt si Satan na ibahin ang ating language and literature. Ilayo tayo from biblical truth at gawing very attractive yung mga hindi biblical. And 99% ng mga literature na very unbiblical ang laman, very attractive. Very well made. Very well crafted. Glossy. Beautiful. Beautiful photograph. Ang ganda-ganda ng gawa. Bakit ganon? Ang mga publication mga Kristiyano, ini-imprenta na lamang sa tercera klaseng papel. Ini-stapler ng mga stapler na may mga kalakalawang pa yata. Hindi magaganda. Hindi masasarap basahin. Gagawa ko minsan ng mga pelikula, mga play. Corny. No? Parang baduy. Bakit hindi ba paganda yung production? Pagkatapos yung mga production ng mga para sa mga sanlibutan, ang gaganda. Ginagastakan, nagiging attractive tuloy. Pero there is a very conscious attempt of this world system to change our language and our sense of literature. Tayo mga Kristiyano. Not only literally, not physically, but also in a deeper way. So ano bang language natin? Is it the language of God or the language of the world? Meaning, yung bang mali sa Diyos, mali pa rin sa language natin o nagiging tama dahil tama sa language ng world? Yung mga kung ano-anong mga ini-invento mga teorya ngayon, yung mga sobrang concept ng tolerance, ng mga political correctness, sometimes it's already moral wrongness na. Para ka lang maging politically correct, morally wrong ka na. This is what I mean, language of the times. Naiiba. What used to be called sin, ngayon ay tinatawag lang na alternative lifestyle. Parang naiiba yung language. Nawawala na yung sakit, yung pakla, yung hapdi ng kasalanan. Nasasanitize ng lahat because of a change of language. When you see a spade, as they say, call it a spade. Sin is sin. Hindi tayo dapat napapadala. What else are the attempts of the world to Babylonize us? Our daily intake of food and wine. Not only physical. What is the food that we give our brain? Ano ba ating napapanood? Ano ating nakikita? Ano ating nababasa? Ano ating nadidinig? 99.999999% worldly. Mga radyo, mga pelikula, mga TV, anong napapanood? Anong nakikita? What is the food that our soul gets? Siyempre, kung ano yung pumasok, yan ang lalabas. Eh, kung garbage in, di garbage out. That's why we don't permit ourselves to take this. Although attractive, ang ganda ng packaging, ang ganda ng presentation. And up to a point, really talaga namang masarap. Pero ano magiging bunga sa atin? Pag sobrang na tayong nahirapi dun sa mga sobrang freedom, wala nang sinecheck sa'yo. Sobrang laya, wala nang bawal. Ano mangyayaring bunga nun? Sobra nang walang control ang ating sarili. What manners and personality changes does the world want from us? Yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung mga political correctness na yan, yung mga ganito, mga ganyan. And of course, the world is training us to become servants of Nebuchadnezzar. We're being trained. Life is a training. Ano ang training natin? Are we being trained to serve the living God? Are we training the young people to serve the living God? O tinitrain lang ba natin sila that church spirituality is just a minor compartment in an otherwise big life? Nakikita ba natin yung spirituality in every aspect of life? Are we trained to apply the words of God in daily life? Kung hindi mo makita yung connection. But it's 1 John 2:15. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Now, hindi naman natin itatapon yung world. Hindi natin wawasakan yung world. Ang ibig sabihin lang, do not love the world more than you love God. No, sige, gusto ko ng comfort, pero kung magbibigay naman sa akin yan ay kasalanan, malalayo ako sa Diyos, wag na lang, discomfort na lang. O sige, gusto ko ng nicer things, but if it means na i-compromise ko yung spirituality ko, never mind the nicer things. I'll just get anything that my spirituality can afford. Ibig sabihin, may price. Everything has a price. And our spirituality has a price. And are we training ourselves to be willing to pay the price? O sumusunod lang tayo whenever convenient, pero pag inconvenient na, tayo na. We need, just like Shadrach and the group, we need resistance. We've got to resist the attempt of the world system to Babylonize us, to change our identity. Because we were created in God's image. Nasira na ngayon dahil sa kasalanan, then na-born again ka, ibinalik na nga yung God's image. Tapos ngayon, attempt na naman ng world, sirain na naman uli yun, ilayo ng ilayo, i-backslide ka ng i-backslide. That's why there has got to be resistance. You should resolve not to defile yourself. Kailangan mayroong clear na desisyon na hindi ko papayagan na kainin ako ng sistemang ito. Kahit sa buong opisina, 100 people are doing a foolish thing, it's still foolish. If 10 million people said a foolish thing, it's still foolish. Because morality is not a matter of numbers. It's not a matter of majority. Morality is what God says. Even if you have to be the only person standing for it. The Christians have to make a stand. Because you will realize soon, much sooner than you'll expect, that you are not alone. That there are many other Christians who are also making a stand. And that more than that, God is making a stand with us. That we're standing on the side of God. Napakahalaga po. Kasi sobrang secularized talaga yung society. Wala nang bawal ngayon, wala nang masama. Relative na yan. Pati nga kagandahan, it's relative. Morality, relative. Wala nang absolute. Pwede na kahit ano basta naisipan mo at kaya mo magpaliko-liko at find your way out, ay pwede na. Pero ano po ang sabi ng 2 Corinthians 6:17? Therefore, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. Yung sinabi ni Lord yan noon, yan pa rin ang sinasabi niya ngayon, yan pa rin ang sasabihin bukas. Touch no unclean thing. Come out of anything unclean. Come out of those relations that are not clean. Come out of those partnerships that are not clean. But be tactful. Hindi naman kung po tayo godly, hindi ko po tayo makadiyos, inaway mo na lahat ng wala sa church, inaway mo na lahat ng hindi mo kareligion. Nakita niyo po itong sila Daniel, they were very tactful with the guards, and they were won over to their side with diplomatic language. So do not needlessly antagonize people. Huwag niyong gayahin yung napakaraming born-again Christian at talagang kinakamuhian, kinakainisan, pinapahabol sa aso, huhulog sa bangin, hindi iniimbita sa mga party. Kasi nakakainis. Nakakita ng konting kabanalan, may apoy sa kanilang dibdib, sinunog na lahat ang katabi. Sa sobrang apoy. Kailangan tactful tayo. Kaya ang sabi sa Colossians 4:6, let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Hindi yung lagi na tayong judgmental, lagi ka na lamang na ginajudge mong kapwa. And of course, in our attempt at resisting the works of Babylon, we should be systematic. Paano ba ako lalaban? Ito ba mga sasuuluhin kong verses? Ito ba dapat kong pag-aralan? Ito ba dapat kong tanggalin? May sistema. Tulad na sinabi nila, huwag kami pakainin yung mga pagkain na yan. Test us after 10 days. May system. It's important. And then, brothers and sisters, let's learn from them, eat only vegetables. I don't mean naman bulang lang at dininding naman na yun na lang, no? Lagyan yun sa hog. So whatever vegetables means to you. Mostly sa Bible, especially in the Old Testament, pag sinasabi po nila yung word na vegetable, it means simple food. Na kasi may mayayaman, they can always afford mga karne, mga kung ano-ano, mga mahihirap. Yun na lang vegetable. Pero, kita naman natin, napapatunayan ngayon, maging ng mga nutritional studies, na marami naman palang advantage talaga yung vegetables. Kasi sa kung ano-ano mga processed meat, dead carcasses in cans. Yung mga ganon. So, ang tawag dito, di ba, it's a dead carcass in a can. Pero ang gaganda ng mga tawag. Eat only vegetables. And I don't mean physical. Ngayon, kung physical, gusto nyo rin, sino ba ako para pigilin kayo? Simplify. If you have to sell your soul to the devil just to be able to afford meat, eat just vegetables. If we have to simplify our lives just to keep a holy living, simplify. It's not worth it to sell your soul to the devil just to have what you want. So sabi niya, don't defile us with these things. Kakain na lang kami ng simple. At alam niyo po, pag mas simplified yung style natin, konti lang yung amo natin. Konti lang yung kailangan mong suyu-suyuin. Pero pag ang dami mong gusto, ang dami mong pinapakisamahan, ang dami mong ina-accommodate, and most of the time, it is your spirit that gets compromised. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying the good things in life so long as we don't compromise our spirituality. But when it comes to making compromises, clear dapat, no. So simple na lang ako. Doon na lang ako, vegetable na lang. Hindi pa ako na-defile. And then you will learn very soon that it's the right choice. That because of that, you become 10 times stronger than other people in terms of spirit. That you become much, much better in terms of emotion because you are not beholden to anybody. Hindi ba yung nakokontrol mo lang naman kasi yung mayroong pagnanasa sa'yo? Yung may gusto sa'yo, di kaya mong kontrolin. Gusto ka. Kung ayaw ba sa'yo, anong kontrol lang magagawa mo dyan? Ayaw nga sa'yo. So kung gusto natin yung masama, nakokontrol tayo ng masama. Kung gusto natin yung ganung bagay, nakokontrol tayo. That's why konti lang dapat yung desires. At hindi dapat napaka-passionate ng mga desires to the point that we lose track of what is right. So we keep our emotions, we keep our desires under check. And of course, like those men, we can have victory. Jude 24 refers to the Lord as the one who can keep you and me, from falling. There is victory in the Lord. God's kingdom and Satan's kingdom are in constant tug of war for people's souls. Kung kanino kayo kumampi, yun ang mananalo sa buhay niyo. Inihila kayo dito ng masama, inihila kayo ng mabuti, nasa inyong pagpapasya kung kanino kayo pahihila, kung kanino kayo sumama, yun ang panalo. Dahil malaki yung factor ng ating free will. Our free will determines which will win in our life. Is it good or evil? You have to fight for your identity. Pagkasama tayo ng mga kaibigan, kailangan alam nila na Kristiyano kayo. Mas maaga nilang malaman, mas mabuti. Kasi pagkalagitnaan na, nagpapanggap kayong nakikisama sa kanila, hirap na hirap naman ang loob nyo. Mamaya, ang hirap ng baguhin yon. Sa umpisa pa lang, identify yourself, mark yourself as Christians. Ipakita nyo na agad yan sa salita, sa gawa, sa inyong behavior, para mangini silang yayain kayo sa paggawa ng mali. At, kung sakasakali, na dahil Kristiyano kayo, ayaw nila sa inyo, di wag. Diba? Kanila na ang kanila, inyo ang inyo. Pero, walang kwenta na ina-accommodate nila tayo sa isang kondisyon na tatalikuran natin ng Diyos. Wag na lang. No? Kaya meron dyan mga boyfriend, sabihin, sige, huwag na lang tayong sumama dyan sa Bible study, huwag na lang, ayoko ng ganyan, sasama naman itong si babae dahil mawawala ng lalaki sa buhay. Di huwag, di wala. No? Kung hindi ka magkakaroon ng promotion dahil hindi ka nakikipaggawa ng masama doon sa mga taga-opisina, di huwag, kanila na lang yung promotion nila, hindi sinasabing, vegetables na lang ako. Tama na sa akin yun. Dahil, alam naman ng Diyos yun eh. Kung gusto ba kayo ng Diyos sa pagpalain, may makakapigil? I don't think so. At kung ayaw naman kayong pagpalain, may makakapilit ba? Wala rin. Be on the side of God. Madali itong sabihin. Pagkasama mo na yung mga tao, pag nandiyan na lahat, may pressure, mahirap nang gawin. Pero mahihirap pa kayang pressure kaysa sa pressure nila Shadrach. Daan-daang kilometro, libu-libo pa siguro ang layo mula sa bahay nila, dinala sila doon sa kapitolyo ng imperyo na sumakop sa kanilang daigdig. Nakatira sila doon sa palasyo. Actually, they were prisoners. Hindi naman sila pwedeng tumakas. Yung well-being nila nandun naman sa kamay ng mga nagbabantay. Wala sa sarili ng magulang, wala doon sa mga tao sa templo, sa kanilang bayan. Ang ikasasaya nila ay kalulungkot. Malaki yung factor kung ina-approve sila or not ng kanilang amo, nung bumihag sa kanila. Saka ito pa, kung magko-compromise naman sila, wala naman nakakakita eh. Diba? Ang layo-layo naman ng Israel. Pero nakikita tayo ng Diyos. Yun ang mahalagang maisip. That if there's a price to pay for standing up for God, pay the price. Because if you stand on the side of the devil, you also will pay the price. Walang libre sa mundo. Lahat may bayad. It's better to pay the price of a righteous person than the price of a sinful person. Fight for your identity. Tayo po yung mukha sa Panginoon at isipin ang mga bagay na ito. Sino-sino, ano-anong sitwasyon ang pumipilit sa inyo na itatuan yung identity? Pag nasa church, identified tayong Christian, pero meron ba mga activities, may mga lugar na pag pumupunta kayo, kailangan yung itago ang inyong pagiging Kristiyano dahil hindi bagay sa inyong pinupuntahan na yon? Huwag na lang puntahan. Hindi pala bagay din ng Kristiyano. Ano ginagawa nyo doon? Kung itinatago-tago natin yung identity na hindi tayo dapat makita doon ng mga kapatiran, in the first place, hindi kayo dapat makita doon ng Diyos. Wala tayo dapat doon. Fight for your identity. Panahon na mas laliman natin ang ibig sabihin that I am, that you are a Christian. That we make a stand for Jesus even though the church people are not there, even though our brothers and sisters in the Lord are not watching, because Jesus is watching. And you know, more than that, Satan is watching. At oras na nakita kayo na pumapasok sa kanyang teritoryo, mabablockmail na kayo. Makokontrol na kayo. Kawawa tayo. When we are silent before the Lord, if you are making compromises about your identity, repent, make right with God. At kung tayo naman, hindi natin kinakailangan gawin yun, magkakaroon tayo ng victorious stand for our identity. Thank God and pray that you will not fall. And be kind and gracious and prayerful for those who fall. The devil is like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour.
Ang katatapos kong mensahe ni Pastor Ed Lapiz ay pinamagatang Very Personal Prayer.
oras na po para pansamantalang magpaalam ang programang Day by Day. Tayo po'y magsama-sama mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes. Magandang gabi po at mabuhay ang Panginoong Hesus.